Hi everyone, I am super excited for this one. I'm like a child at a birthday party that's just had way too much sugar. And why am I so excited? Well, today I'm going to get to test the Velduro Rogue. And why is that so special? Well, for those of you who've watching me for the first time, I'm Lance, hi, welcome. I do mountain bike content, do e-bike reviews. But by the time I get to review a bike, pretty much it's old news. All the other channels around in Europe and America have been riding it for probably a year. But I've got a scoop for you. This is a New Zealand brand, the Velduro. This is not even a production bike yet. This is pre-production. This is a prototype. And they've asked me to ride it and to test it. So I've pretty much got a scoop. So I'm pretty excited about that. The other thing, if you've watched my videos, is that you know that I like power. And this has the DJI Avinox motor, and this has a hell of a lot of power. This has 105 Newton meters and 1,000 watts in normal mode, and it's got a boost that goes up to 120 Newton meters if you want that as well. So this thing is powerful, goes fast as well, and we'll talk more about that later. Now, if you haven't heard of the hype around this motor, and as I say, I think it could well be a bit of a game changer. You must have been in a long-term coma and it's just woken up. So I hope good recovery anyway, so hope you're doing okay after your coma. But anyway, I digress. So New Zealand brand. Now you're thinking New Zealanders, we just farm sheep, but no, New Zealand is renowned for making innovative, high-tech things. You only have to look at the sort of America's Cup boats to know the sort of things we can do. And this bike is pretty special. So before I get into the DJI, because there's a lot in there and I'm never going to be able to go through all of that, let's talk a little bit about this bike. So as I mentioned, this is a pre-production prototype bike, and so a lot of the components on this bike will be actually different on the final bike. Examples of on the jockey wheel up here, this is just 3D printed plastic, the same with under the motor. Those things will be much higher quality components on the final bike. I think that's going to change. Even the decals will be of a higher quality. In fact, some of you may have even noticed the front rotor is the wrong one. It'll be a bigger rotor on the final bike, and I believe even the cranks and the chainring will be different. However, they'll all be better. There'll be a higher quality spec when the final bike comes into production. Now, one interesting thing about this bike, and you can buy it as this full setup, it's at the moment it's a Fox 38s at the front, Float X2 at the rear, 170, 165. But you'll also be able to get this bike as a frame-only option. And I know that's going to appeal to a lot of people. I know my friends, a lot of them said, why is there so little options in terms of buying a bike with a frame-only option? Because a lot of us mountain bikers, we've got an old steam bike that's got lots of really good stuff on it, and we'd love to put it on an e-bike. And so here's your opportunity. But yeah, you will be able to buy this as a full bike. So as you can see, it's this thing's classified as a mid-pivot. This enables the suspension to perform better. The idea is that the wheel will track the ground better over that rooty, gnarly, chattery stuff. Now I must admit, I don't know about you, but I've often wondered, like, if you were going to design a bike, how do you know where to put that pivot? And I've learned something. There's an outfit called iTrack, and they have this special software, and what you do is you put in all the sizing and geometry you want, and it works out exactly where that pivot should be. So that's pretty clever, I think. So yeah, us Kiwis aren't all just sheep farmers, you know. We can make some pretty special stuff. Another thing this bike has is a dropper post. No great surprises there. However, the thing I really like about this bike is it has the ability to put a really long dropper. 200, no problem at all. It can go, I believe, quite a lot longer than that. And the way they've done that is they put the charging point at the front here rather than the back, and that enables them to put a really long dropper. So for someone like me, that's a really important feature. Okay, so that brings us to the DJI Avinox motor, and this thing, it's not just about having a powerful motor. There is so much that goes into this, and there has been quite a few videos done on the Avinox system, so you can certainly check that out. But little things like On a normal bike, when the magnet goes round once, you get information for one revolution of the wheel. For every revolution of the wheel on the Avinox, you get 48 lots of information. So the power output and delivery is well, supposed to be a lot smoother. The other thing is the interface for the whole thing. It has little buttons on either side of the handlebars, and a nice, it's got a touch screen on the top tube, which is beautiful. You can connect it to your app on your phone, but I'm not a huge big phone app kind of guy, and being able to do pretty much everything I need on the screen. You can scroll through the pages, and there is so many things you can set up, and we will go through some of these on the ride today, and I think that's the best way to do it. In fact, I think that is the way to do it, because I think, to be honest, my excitement levels have just gone over the top. Let's get over to Rotorua, because I've still got to get there, and then let's go for a ride, and then let's start working our way through some of this stuff on this system. But there is a lot, and it is seriously cool. So anyway, I'll meet you over there. Okay, so I'm learning pretty much at the same pace you are here, but it has walk mode, and watch this. If I press walk mode, whoa, I don't even need to pedal again. I can just ride along in walk mode. How cool is that? All right then, very first test on this thing. I'm going to start in trail mode, and I'm a bit nervous because this thing, as I say, it's one of one, so, and there's many people lined up after me to ride it, so I'm going to be sensible. Now, for those wondering, this is a mullet, but you can flip chip it and make it a 29er. Whee! Oh, okay, don't look at my riding style. Now, for those people who always ask, I'm 176 centimeters. This is a medium. I think it's got a 4.66 reach and 63.5 degree head angle. Pretty cold day today, although the trail conditions look pretty mint. If you ever get the chance, from you seeing this from overseas, you got to come and ride New Zealand. You got to come and ride Rotorua. It's pretty special. Whee! So far, so good. Oh, I shouldn't say things like that, should I? Been going through luckily, when they gave me this bike, they didn't see my last ride, which I crashed twice on. Oh, that's going to be cool. Bit of roots. Soak it up. Look at these big old redwoods, eh? Okay, for my next trail, I'm going to ride on the Tar Seal Road on the flat, just to see how fast this will go. Hopefully you can see the screen. Okay, so we're at 42, 46, 47. It's the biggest gear. What happens if we put a bit of boost in? I think that's boost. All right, 55, 56, 57, 57. And booster's off now. Woo! All right, we're back in trail at the moment, going uphill, and yeah, some of you are probably thinking, what the 50 plus kilometers an hour, what in the world's going on? Currently in New Zealand, the DJIs have no speed restriction. That may change, and it may ultimately, I think, end up at 45 kilometers an hour, which would still be awesome, to be honest. It's certainly much better than 32, and 25 really should be a crime. So yeah, unlimited speed. I was going to show you going, you know, look, is it 25, is it 32, but I took 3 pedal strokes and I was already nearly up to 40 kilometers an hour, and I couldn't go any faster really because I ran out of gears. And obviously on a mountain bike you you generally aren't pedaling at 50 kilometers an hour. So but anyway, that was pretty cool. Okay, so we're doing a bit of a climb. We're in trail, and as I probably did before, this has a boost mode. So if you press the button up there, you get 30 seconds of boost. Well, I say 30 seconds. Whoa! Hang on, guys. You can actually go into the menu and change that, and I think you can change it up even to a minute or something, or just 10 seconds or whatever you want. So everything's incredibly, in fact, it's still in boost now. And if you want, you can just press the button and turn it off as well. So that's boost. Seriously, yeah, I'm still boosting. I think that's 30 seconds. Okay, it's warning me it's going to turn down, I think. So yeah, it turns down. And what happens if I had to go? Just do it again. Another boost. Now I know a lot of you will go, yeah, but what about the battery? It's got 800 watt hour, by the way. But yeah, you're definitely going to chew through a lot of battery doing that sort of carry on. But the thing is with range, if you're doing a big ride, you just use less power. You can customize this thing to effectively make it almost any motor. So if you want a low powered e-bike, you can set this thing up so that's exactly what it is. It's a low powered e-bike, and again, so you can do a long ride. But my theory is that you can always take a bike and reduce the power, but you can't take a low powered bike and make it more powerful. So I'd rather have the power and not use it, but it's always available for those crazy climbs. All right, first impressions, having a lot of fun. I think we need to do the glove test though and see whether I can actually control this screen, the touch screen, with some gloves. Let's do that. Okay, so we're in trail. Let's see if I get this right. I can swipe up, then I can press that one, and then I can customize these modes. So if I'm in trail at the moment, so it's got assistance range 9 to 13, maximum torque, what's that got at the moment? So it could go up to 105, but you could drop it all the way down to 10 if you were insane. It's got maximum power. Again, that can go up to 1,000 watts. Assisted motor overrun, so you can control how much overrun you've got. Assisted start, I think that makes it a bit easier to get going, and I'm not sure what continued assist does, but oops, have I got that right? Yeah, look, you just press that. So yeah, it works for gloves, and yeah, very customizable. All right, we're into it. So this one's called Gunagora. Now, one of the things they did say about this bike is it tends to track along the ground really well, and it certainly does that. Feels very stable and secure. It's interesting, this one's a medium. This is actually longer than my large. So I guess if you're buying one, yeah, you probably want to go smaller than larger, I guess. Hey. So this bike, you probably, obviously, maybe if you're into this thing, you've heard of the Amflow. And I guess the difference between this bike is it's been built to be more burly than to get super lightweight. So it's 22 kgs in this configuration, apparently, which is still pretty light. But yeah, the carbon frame is stronger. It's got, you know, the bigger fork up the front. It's got more travel. Yeah, I think it's what a lot of people have been waiting for. It's not that the Amflow's a bad bike, it's just that this thing is a bit more capable, if you like, and a bit rowdy. This thing has a couple of other really cool features as well. It has a lot of cool features. One of the ones I do like is that you can change gear without pedaling. And why is that useful? Well, sometimes it's quite nice if you're coming into something and you're not pedaling, just to change a couple of gears, and as you pedal out, it will already be in that gear. It also has, if you're using the SRAM transmission, it'll talk to it and button off the power to try and save the chain and get smoother shifting. And all of those things you can turn on and off, so if you don't want it, you can turn it off.
almost everything about this bike you can turn on and off depending on whether you want it. But both those features, yeah, I really like. In fact, I tend to ride, even normal e-bikes, I tend to almost button off when I change gear just to save the chain and drivetrain. But you can do this completely. It'll change without pedaling at all. In fact, I'll sort of give you an example. Let's change up a couple of gears because we're going up the hill here. And then I can drop a couple while I'm rolling through this bit, and as I pedal out, I'm in the right gear. Really cool. I believe you can also customize this so you can actually use your right hand controller just to adjust the power in increments, but actually haven't quite worked out how to do that yet. As I say, there's a lot of screens and I have limited time with this bike, unfortunately. It's not like I've been riding it for a month. This is now effectively my second track down, but I feel very at home on it already. I can definitely not worried about doing anything on this thing. Alright, I better see if I can jump this thing. Oh yeah, so far so good. Even managed to sneak in a pedal stroke just to give it a boost. Might as well throw in a awkward little climb. See if we can boost over there. No trouble at all, too easy. Okay, guess time to go slightly bigger. Whee, hey! Alrighty. Don't touch the brakes. That's it. Off the cliff, or whatever you want to call it. Woo! Oh, that's awesome! Woohoo! Whoa, that gets your heart going in the morning. All right, might as well do the bottom section. And we should be able to go absolutely nuts on this thing. Woo-hoo! All right, I want to do a little experiment. This is a track called Corridor. It's got a step up at the end. You need lots of speed to get up it. I often struggle, mainly due to lack of skill. But on this bike, of course, I should be able to sneak in some pedal strokes, get a bit of a boost, and I'm hoping that will get me up there. The other thing that I'm going to try, on the display, you can see what gear you're in, and I'm in gear 8. But as I'm building up speed down the trail, I can change gear, and then when I do go to pedal, it should be in the right gear. Anyway, let's try this. Okay, so we pedal away in 8th gear, and then you go, normally I'd roll, but 9, 10, 11, 12, so I should be in the right gear now when I want it. Boost over that, boost over that. Well, coming in a bit slow as usual, that's my problem. I'm pedal there. Oh, that's it. And we're up. Woohoo! All right, I guess we could throw in a bit of grade 3 flow trail for you grade 3 flow trail lovers. And of course, the lovely thing about this is that whenever you turn the pedals, it feels exactly the same. Whereas obviously on e-bikes that cut out at 32, it's a bit of a lottery as to what you're going to get. But yeah, at the moment, every time I pedal, it just feels consistent. And I think that is more important than going ridiculously fast. It's not all about going fast, although that's fun, of course. It's about the motor feeling natural. Feels like you're riding, it just feels like you're super fit. All right, a bit of double down. Bit of a drop to a little sort of skipper. Nice little hop over there, coming in a bit slow, doesn't matter. You can literally just put a pedal stroke in and get a boost if you're going a little bit slow, like that last jump. Bit of a roller. Again, you see, I bet you I can put a pedal in there and then boost it. A nice couple of fun little jumps at the end. Way, I went huge on that. Woo.
All right, well, I think the sugar rush is finally worn off, and the excitement has died down a little bit now, and I'm pretty tired. But tired but very happy. I've had a really fun day on this thing. This thing, it handles really well, really planted, really good over that choppy stuff and the tech stuff. Pretty good at jumping as well. I didn't go crazy on this because I was so terrified about crashing this and doing some damage. So I'm kind of relieved to be at this point, and it all still looks the same as it did when I had it this morning. Range, everyone's going to talk about range. They're going to go, yeah, with all that power and all that speed, how much battery did you chew through? Well, of course, a little bit confusing. I've done 27 Ks today. I actually did a little bit last night on the farm, and I didn't actually charge it up. So I think I used about 5% and did a kilometre or something doing a hill climb challenge. You want to see that? You want to see that? All right, let's see that.
3, 2, 1, go. All right, running out of daylight, we're just going to do a little experiment. I've never actually climbed this hill before. It won't look on the GoPro, but it's actually stupidly steep. We're on the Gen 3 Bosch motor and turbo, and I just want to do a timed run and see how the Velduro compares. Yeah, that's me puffing. Even on e-bike and turbo, I'm working it. We'll call it 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so we officially are running out of daylight now. Okay, so we're in turbo. We're not going to use boost at this stage. She's got some go, all right. This is literally my first go on it. I'm still wearing jeans, been working on the farm. Be interesting to see. It's definitely going to be quicker. What are we doing? 22 kilometers an hour up here. 28, 20. Still puffing though. Guess it just means I'm unfit. Okay, this thing flies along.
Okay, so the results of the hill climb challenge. The Bosch, it was a Gen 3 in turbo, did it in 1:29, and this thing did it in 1:05. That's a big difference for a very short piece of track. So this thing will certainly belt up the hill, and that was without using boost. I didn't even use the boost mode. So range, yeah, she's going to chew through more batteries. Saying that, as I say, did 27 Ks today, let's call it 28 with yesterday. Still got a quarter of the battery left, so you're going to do well over 30, getting close to 40. I've certainly been power hungry. You can see I've been using boost, I've been using turbo, I've been boosting up and down hills, I've been filming, and filming I always find uses a lot of battery for very little distance because you just keep repeating little bits. So the great thing about this bike is it's so customizable that you could make it almost anything you want. It's got 800 watt hour battery, so it's got a big battery, and so if you ran it on less power, it's going to go a very long way, I think, on this bike. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I'd love to have more time on this, but unfortunately I've got to give it back. There are so many things on that screen and so many options and things you can adjust and change that, yeah, I'd love to spend more time tinkering with it. If you are interested in, as I say, the DJI Avinox system, there is quite a few more in-depth videos that other people have done, so you can check it out. But in terms of the Velduro, it's a enduro beast, an awesome handling bike with what I believe may be the game changer motor. This motor is something very, very special. And yeah, it'd be very interesting to see what everyone else is going to do to try and compete with this thing. So anyway, if you've enjoyed this video and it's the first time you've seen me and you haven't subscribed, of course I'd love you if you did that. Trying to get to 1 million subscribers so I could actually make some money and do this for a living rather than just a time-consuming hobby. But anyway, I can't complain. I've been riding in one of the best locations for riding in the world in mint conditions on a sunny winter's day on a beautiful, powerful, awesome bike. What's not to like? Anyway, we'll see you on the next one.